I'm Kris, and I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am an HR executive.
Amazing. Awesome. HR executives unite.
Yes.
Um, well, we're thrilled for you in your new gig, but I'm wondering if you could perhaps excuse me, I'm wondering if you can perhaps walk us back in time to before you came into Career Amp and kind of what was happening in your job search that made you want to reach out for some help.
I was laid off in the 1st of February. First time I've ever been laid off, never had to look for a job before. And immediately started looking at LinkedIn and I've started applying for jobs and was not getting any traction anywhere on any of those things. And so I think it was probably 3 months in. And I just said, okay, I'm not doing something right. I need some help. And I must have just seen one of Career Amp's ads on LinkedIn and said, all right, I'm gonna explore this and see, because I couldn't wait. And I tell my kids all the time, you need to make life happen for you, not to you. And so that was what my decision to go with Career Amp was for me.
Absolutely. And taking the reins back over
Yeah.
the things that we can control, that totally resonates.
Yeah.
And so as you were looking for a partner to help you in this pursuit, what was important to you about finding a coaching partner or a program that ultimately made you choose Career Amp?
Having access to coaches, having a structure, because that's what I felt like I didn't have. I was just sort of flailing, honestly.
Mm.
So knowing that there was a system available, I'm all about process and following process. So having that in place and something, feeling like I was being productive, because the way I was going about it did not feel productive, and I did not feel like I was making any progress. So that was really what it was for me.
Totally. And I feel like just what you said, that kind of applies to anything in my life, I would say. Just when you feel like you're trying a bunch of things, they're not working, you don't know how to even like stick a turkey thermometer in what you're cooking to understand, is this cooking the right way? What temperature am I supposed to cook this at? And it can be really daunting when you don't understand or
Yeah.
have something to follow and
Right.
something to check. Okay. Okay, cool. And so then you hopped inside Career, which we're so glad that you did. What would you say as you hopped in, you recognize as a first initial win or something just right off the bat where you're like, oh, this makes sense, or an aha moment?
I think it was the whole side door method and reaching out to people. Like, I'm an ambivert, so I walk that line between extrovert and introvert. And when I'm sitting at home behind a computer screen, working on a job search, that the introvert side of me is like, love this. This is so great. So having to reach out to people who I didn't know, asking for help, which I don't do well. So the first win was getting over that hesitancy and that reticence to reach out to people and say, hey, would you mind spending a few minutes with me? Um, it's one of those really anxious, anxiety causing situations, but I just forced myself and, ended up doing it a lot. Like, I don't even know how many. I'm not one of the people that keeps statistics of how many new connections I have, but I bet I increased my connections on LinkedIn by 50% in the last 6 months easily.
That's amazing. That's
Mhm.
so amazing. And it's always hard to get past the first time or second time or even fifth time of doing something new that's uncomfortable. And in my experience, maybe this is the same for you, is when we do something new for the first time, it's really scary. And then we do it over and over again, and it becomes less and less scary because our brain has thought that, okay, I'm safe. This is
Mhm.
okay. It's not going to kill me. It's just uncomfortable because I haven't done it before. So I don't know if that was the same experience for you.
Yeah, it was, which made it so much easier to manage the volume, because the return on that is not great, but
Mm,
if you send out enough, then you get responses that make it worth it. But when I
yeah.
started really saying to people, I'm not selling anything,
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to do anything for me other than have a conversation, then I really started getting better responses from people.
That's great, Chris. That's awesome. Okay. So what would you say was your biggest win inside of the Korean program? Was it your offer and where you landed? Was it something else that you learned along the way? What's most powerful for you?
I think for me, it was learning that you really have to nurture your network all along the way.
Mm,
So that's something I'm going to carry forward. So that hidden job network, that's how I got this job.
it's real. It's real.
Yeah, it's real. And offer came from a recruiter, an in-house recruiter who saw my profile on LinkedIn.
There you
Um,
go.
so I'm sure that the help rewriting LinkedIn was helpful. I think ultimately going through that process, um, I rewrote a lot of cover. Like, I took the cover letter template that I got, and I, obviously rewrote it for every company that I sent it to, just to tailor it.
Good.
Um, but it helped me really refine my sales pitch. So,
Great.
in addition to the side door method, I think helping me really refine my message and my self marketing, which is really what this
Hmm.
is all about, is
Yep.
probably my biggest win.
That's so great. That's so great. And it's a skill that we learn, and then we understand how to tell it really powerfully, and we can carry that for the rest of our career, not just in a job search, but also like when you're being introduced to new executives or new leaders as a
Right.
HR exec, right? Talking about what you've done, how you've done it.
Yep.
Those skills are things that are transcendent.
Yeah.
So very cool. All right, Chris. Last question here is: if someone's watching our conversation and they are potentially interested in career, maybe they're on the fence, what would you tell them and why?
I would say that if you're someone who is looking for structure and a process to help you in your job search, and you haven't been successful on your own, that CareerAmp is a really good program, really good tool to help you stay focused and stay on track, and to throw you a lifeline when you need it on various steps of the process.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kris. Congratulations to you. We're so
Thank
thrilled for
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.